Down the booth. West Insider Terrence Newman. John Ramey with you. Nevada, home. Parents Weekend. Kickoff 7:30 this Saturday evening from Mackey Stadium in Reno against San Diego State. Terrence Newman will be on the call from the sidelines with me and the Hall of Famer Mike Edwards. Our coverage starts at 6:30 on the Varsity Network app and on 105.7 FM. Terrence Newman, Fresno State, Nevada with a close loss, 20-17. But it was the dawn of the Carter Jones era. Jeff Choate is not named Carter Jones, freshman from Lancaster, Texas, as the starter, but he says that he will play a lot this week. Appreciate Coach Choate's gamesmanship, I suppose, a little bit there.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and name him for him. Carter Jones is going to be the starting quarterback this week and for the rest of the season.
Copy that.
Yeah.
It is, again, I just finished the live coaches show at the El Dorado, and it is funny, everything we talked about in that game about how the guys in the huddle maybe kind of knew he was the guy, and the way they reacted. And
they've been practicing with this guy all year. They had to have known.
Yeah.
They had to have known that what they saw in practice was real. And he went out there and he operated like that in the second half of the game.
What did you see up close? You were on the Nevada sideline. From the booth, it was just the poise, which everybody loves to roll their eyes about, but that is important in the quarterbacking position. The game looked slow, and he appeared to be moving very smoothly within the game. And then there was just the electricity of the ball out of his hand. There was a snap to it, a liveness. That was instantly stood out from any other pass thrown in that game.
Like you said, the game wasn't too big for him. The game wasn't too fast for him. He looked like he was operating at the pace he wanted to operate at. He wasn't rushed, he wasn't hurried. But what I took away the most, and I noticed it right away, I noticed it on the very first pass. He's just a natural thrower of the football. Mm-hmm. Certain people have a natural throwing motion. Certain people do not. That doesn't mean that you have to have that motion to be a successful quarterback, but it's just the passing game is so much easier for him than it is for the other quarterbacks on the roster. And that was evident from the very first pass. He just has a very natural windup, a very quick, and like it's a little long, but the release is quick, and the ball just kind of, like you said, there's a pop to it. It leaves his hand differently than it does to everybody else, and that's part of the reason why a lot of his balls are on time. And what I was actually almost more encouraged by some of a couple of the incompletions.
Same.
Because he threw the ball on a few of them where it's a place where it's like, okay, if this ball's getting caught, only my guy's catching it.
Right. I noticed that.
But if my guy's not catching it, it's not getting picked, And there's something to that. That there's a skill to that.
I think maybe his first pass over the middle to Nathaniel Floyd was a little too high for Floyd, and they had ended up punting, but it was safely out of danger.
Yes. And it was in a place though where his guy can go and make a play on it, and if a play happens, and it's a big reception. But if not, it's not a turnover. And that's what's been killing this team all season. It killed them in the first half. It's pretty much the reason why they didn't win the game was a couple of those interceptions. So that's what really had me excited the most, was that he throws a ball that is like the quarterback coaches teach it, where, throw it to where only your guy can get it.
Okay, so Nevada's got a promising freshman quarterback, likely starting or certainly getting the lion's share of the snaps and the minutes against San Diego State, a team that has played some really ferocious defense this year. They're only allowing 12.6 points per game. They've only given up 63 total points in their 5 games. They're 4-1. They beat Colorado State last time out, 45-24. But the big scoring outputs have come at home. On the road, they have scored less, including 13 points in a 36-13 loss at Washington State and 6 points in a 6-3 win at Northern Illinois. So they can win on the road. I mean, that's not nothing. Um, but this is maybe a level up of defense that Jones will be facing compared to Fresno State. Fresno State was not a bad defensive team, but San Diego State is
San Diego State's probably the
yeah.
cream of the crop when it comes to defense in the conference. It's kind of funny. I was breaking down the stats, and uh, this game's almost kind of like the Spider-Man meme, where the two Spider-Mans are pointing at each other
Yeah.
because San Diego State and Nevada are built the same. Just get
Run the
this.
ball and play defense.
Get this. Passing yards per game, San Diego State is 11th in the conference. Nevada is 12th.
There
Rushing
you go.
yards per game, San Diego State is 5th in the conference. Nevada is 4th. Okay,
Yeah.
so both teams struggle to throw the ball. Both teams want to run the ball. Both teams are led by their defense. Yeah, their San Diego State's defense first in the conference in points allowed, first in yards per allowed, and tied for second in sacks with Nevada.
Yeah.
So that's how similar these two teams are. It really is defense, run the ball, and pray that your passing game doesn't hurt you.
You mentioned turnovers. Nevada is 1-4 overall, 1-3 in close games. I'm counting the Western Kentucky game, even though that ended up 31-16. There was that
No, that was a
fluke
close game.
onside kick
Yeah.
attempt that was recovered by the Hilltoppers and run back in the last minutes. So that was a close game too, effectively.
Yes.
Nevada is 1-3 in close games, -9 in turnovers, including -3 in the Fresno State game at Fresno State last week. It's kind of like if Nevada can ever cut the anchor chain, they're going to sail along at a nice clip. I mean,
Yes.
it's a miracle they've won any games at -9
Yeah.
turnovers. That is just a devastating number.
Yeah. I mean, if they could get that number back to just even, they'd have a winning record right now.
I know it's crazy. Like if Nevada can just get non-negative turnovers against San Diego State, I think they got a fine chance to win that game. You just
Yes.
got to score 20. Nevada has not scored 20 on offense so far this year, but they scored 14 in the second half with Carter Jones, right? You pointed it out, and I put it in my column on Monday. I did not credit you, but I will here. Carter Jones had more touchdown passes in one half of football. Excuse me,
I believe
equaled
the same amount.
the
Yeah.
same number of two touchdown passes. Nevada had
Yeah.
two total touchdown passes
For the entire season.
for the entire season. Jones
And
equaled it in the second half at Fresno State.
I
And
here's the
Nevada's
thing.
offense had not scored two touchdowns in any game. They had only generated one touchdown per game. That was the first multiple touchdown performance from the Nevada offense so far this year. And it came in the second half, and it came with Carter Jones at the controls.
Yeah. No, that offense was starting to hum in the second half. It really was starting to cook. We talked about it after the game. I wholeheartedly believe that if they had gotten the ball one more time, they were going to win that game. They were going to go down the field and score. You could feel it. You could feel it on the sideline. Um, with Carter being the passer that he is, it it just opens up the entire playbook for the offensive coordinator. We saw um, more 3 and 4 wide receiver sets, I think,
Mm-hmm.
in the fourth quarter and third quarter last week than we've probably seen all season long. Because we'd really kind of gotten into that 12 package a lot, where it was a lot of two tight ends. Because that was what was the strength that was working for us. But now with Carter, we can get a lot more elaborate. I believe 9 different guys caught a pass on last Saturday, which is the most we've had all season long. So he's spreading the ball out. I mean, we guys were catching the ball, wide receivers I didn't even know were on the roster. Okay, and so yeah, he just gives so many more options that we did not have before, and he gives us that ability to stretch the field in a way that we have not had, that is just going to open up the run offense, which is already a really solid run offense. But yeah, I mean that 40, was it 45, 46 yard pass he had to
To Nate Burleson the second.
Burleson the second. Yeah.
Longest play Fresno State's defense had given up all year.
The timing on the pass, I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Picture perfect, just dropped right in, caught it right in stride. Um, I had to try to catch myself because I was getting excited because I did say I haven't seen a Nevada quarterback throw a deep ball like that since Carson Strong, and I stand by that statement.
That's actually a more impressive statement than I think people may realize because Brandon Lewis didn't throw a bad deep ball.
He did not throw a bad deep ball,
Yeah.
but even
And still isn't throwing bad deep
even for
balls
as
now
good
in
as Brendan
Memphis.
was last year,
Yeah.
like I said, with just a natural thrower of the ball. Brendan is, I would put him more in the category like Chuba. They are good athletes who play quarterback, but they're not your traditional drop back, Dan Marino type pocket passers. And Carter actually is that, but with the athleticism. He's
Can
not a
move around a
runner,
little bit.
but he can move around a little bit. He can extend the play.
I just again quarterback mechanics. I grew up on Joe Montana, right?
Yeah.
Just the way that Carter Jones held the ball high.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It wasn't low.
Yes.
He wasn't sloppy. It was just his
Yeah.
mechanics were so pure.
Held the ball high,
Moving
released
around.
the ball high.
Yeah. And he's
There
6'3",
was
right?
the one pass that was deflected, but that was like a quick slant where he was trying to fire a ball through a real tight window real fast. But yeah, no, his mechanics are just sound, very sound, and as much as we're praising this kid, uh, I still believe that there's a place for Chubb on this team.
Oh hell, I'd start him at slot. I mean, I joked with Chode about that, and he said, "No, there are going to be packages for Chuba.
I'd
He's a
play him
good athlete.
everywhere.
He's a playmat. Me too.
I would play him everywhere. I would, I
I would
would, I
too.
would get him some snaps at wide receiver. I would
Yeah.
still let him play quarterback for a few
Run a
drives.
fly sweep to him, make people
Because
think.
yes, and I'd line them up at running back. I'd line
Yeah, I
them
would too.
both up in the backfield at the same time
Yeah.
because he is one of, if not the best, at least second best runner on the team. He's one of the
Yeah, Dom.
fastest guys on the team. He's one of the best pure athletes on the team. So
Uh,
I would utilize him in every way possible. Turn him into just a Swiss Army knife.
Dominic Kelly has done well for the Pack as the Wildcat quarterback. I would also have a Wildcat package for Chuba
Yes,
because the defense has
100%.
to. The defense can't assume he's just going to run.
And I believe he would embrace that role too. I do. This is last year. He's got a few more games left in his football career. I think he wants to he wants to end his career on the field playing. And at a certain point, it's like you don't really matter where you're on the field, just as long as you're getting on the field. So I do. I think he would embrace that.
I would also like to point out we didn't get to it on the coaches show with Coach Cho tonight, but I asked him off air how Chuba was dealing or how he was processing it. And he goes, "He's great. He's a great kid. He's gonna be happy to
Yeah,
contribute.
no,
However he can contribute."
I saw on the sideline in the game. He stayed locked in.
That's
He
awesome.
was he was talking with the guys during timeouts and when they were back on the sidelines. He was talking with Carter. He was still engaged with his guys. He was still pumping up his linemen. So yeah, no, he was full on.
I mean, that speaks well to his character. I mean, if it were me, I'd go in the tank. I'd pout.
A lot of guys would. A
You
lot of
know?
guys would. I think you know he's probably at a different stage than
Yeah.
your average college football player.
Right.
You know,
He's been a lot of
he's
places.
he's
He's
been
seen
a
a
lot
lot
of
of things.
places. He's dealt with a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
And so just the opportunity to get on the field probably means a little more to him, a little different to
Right.
him than it might to like your freshman or sophomore that's trying to get out there and make a name for themselves. Um, so yeah, no, he definitely showed leadership on Saturday.
What else about the Aztecs? Terrence Newman?
Well,
Talk to me about these 4-1 Aztecas.
like we said, it's an offense very similar to what Nevada is in terms of output. They're
Mm-hmm.
run first more than pass, and a lot of that
Similar
starts with
identity.
similar identity. Yeah,
Yeah.
not so much play calling style, but similar identity. And that starts with their running back, Lucky Sutton.
Mm-hmm.
88 carries on the season, 450 yards, five
Great
TD.
name.
Yeah, great name. Is averaging
Lucky Sutton.
5.1 yards per game. So he's kind of the bell cow of this team.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the key for the Nevada defense. That's going to be the guy that they're really going to have to shut down because they're pretty weak at wide receiver. They don't have a wide receiver in the top 20
Napier, number
in
two.
conference
Yeah.
as far as receptions. So yeah, shutting down Lucky Sutton is going to be key for the Nevada defense. Now on San Diego State's defense, they have some studs at all levels. They really do. Starts up front. Trey White, defensive end. He's got 3 sacks this year. That's actually his production is a little down from last season. He was actually so good last season. I was kind of shocked he didn't either go into the draft or end up transferring somewhere like a Big 12 or Big 10 school. But he came back to San Diego State and he is a force. So blocking him is going to be priority number 1 for the Wolfpack.
He's wearing number 2. He's got 5
Yes.
TFLs and 3 sacks.
And then at the second level, linebacker Owen Chambliss,
12.
all over the place. 43 tackles, 2 sacks, just a real solid guy. And then they have a real good ball hawking cornerback, Chris Johnson.
Yeah,
2 interceptions.
Choate talked about him too.
Yeah, 2 interceptions, 5 pass deflections. So I mean, if he's not picking the ball off, he's getting his hands on it. He's as close to shutdown as you're going to get in this conference. And then one last thing before we move on to the Mountain West slate for this week. I don't know the answer to this question, but maybe you do. Maybe you can look it up. When was the last time a Nevada player won Conference Defensive Player of the Year?
Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Well, certainly not in 9 years.
Okay. Because last week I was gonna say, hey,
Dylan LaBarbera, huh?
I think it's time we start talking about Dylan LaBarbera.
Okay,
for
he's
conference.
tied for Conference Player of the Year, defensive.
I think it's time we start talking about it.
Okay, so our friend Aaron Juarez, who is our sports information director, does the notes.
Yeah.
Did you see his notes? Yet on Dylan, he's got 10 tackles for a loss.
Yes.
Tied for the national lead. He's tied for the most TFLs in the nation.
Yes.
He averages 2 TFLs per game. That's most in the nation.
Yes.
He's Nevada's leading tackler.
Yeah, he is
100%.
I believe he's 7th in the conference in tackles, and he is tied for 3rd in the conference in sacks right now. So,
Terrence, when was the last time a defensive end was like your leading tackler? That's usually
it is very rare. That is
right. It's usually a linebacker if you're good, and a safety if you're bad.
Yes. Yeah. But it's usually not a defensive end. A defensive end will get you a lot of sacks. They'll get you a lot of TFLs. Tackles for loss, but they usually do not get you a high number of tackles because a lot of times they're turning guys in. They're holding the edge and they're helping the linebackers get those tackle numbers up. But he's that all over the field and to the point where he's gone beyond just all conference conversation to where he really does need to be in the defensive player of the year conversation. If he stays at this clip, yeah.
Chris Murray said it in his Monday column that LaBarbera is playing like an All-American. I mean,
yes,
it's hard to argue with that.
Yes.
I think he had 12 more tackles at Fresno State. I mean, it's just astounding numbers for a defensive end.
Just mind-blowing. 12 tackles for defensive end, that's usually 3 games production.
Shout out Butte College. Gave the world Aaron Rodgers and Dylan LaBarbera.
Yeah.
All right, you want to talk about the Mountain Best?
Yeah, man. Let's go through this week's schedule.
All right, real quick. Fresno State 2-0, 5-1. UNLV 1-0, 5-0. San Diego State 1-0, 4-1. Boise State 1-0, 3-2. Utah State 1-0, 3-2. San Jose State 1-0, 2-3. Then Hawaii 1-1. New Mexico, Wyoming, Colorado State, Nevada all 0-1. Air Force 0-3 in the Mountain West, 1-4 overall. Okay, so those are the standings. It's really UNLV and Fresno State right now. I mean, Boise State's 1-0, but they're 3-2 overall.
Yeah, but as you were reading those names off, I just couldn't help to think just how tight this conference is.
7 games left for Nevada. The sky's the limit.
From top to bottom, this conference is so tight because as you were naming those teams off at the top and you got to those teams in the middle, in my mind I was thinking, Oh, they could beat those teams at the
Yeah.
top. They could
All right.
hang
So
with those
Fred,
teams at the top.
how about this one? Fresno State at Colorado State Friday night, 6 o'clock. That's no gimme for
Uh,
the dogs.
it should be. Colorado
I
State
know.
is really struggling right now. I'm not sure exactly what is going on, but their passing offense has fallen apart. Their Braden Fowler Nicolosi was their three 3 year. I believe this was supposed to have been his third year starting. They were expecting huge things from him. He's been on the bench the last 2 weeks. He got benched, and the guy that they replaced him with really hasn't been that much better. I believe they actually got down to their third string quarterback last week. So there's some real problems in Fort Collins on the offensive side of the ball. They do have some talent on the defensive side, but what I saw from that Fresno State team, I like what I saw. The offense is nothing flashy, but
Were you sold
it's
on Warner as a quarterback?
he is a veteran.
Yeah. The experience matters
He's
probably.
experienced. He's a
Yeah.
veteran.
More than skill per
He
se.
he will make the right decision with the ball 99% of the time. But yeah, I wouldn't put him in the top half of the conference as far as just pure talent.
Sure.
But
Dude, when it came time to,
I don't
yeah.
I have faith that he's not going to lose you the
Yeah.
game. He won't be the reason why Fresno State loses a game.
No, and in fact, that last drive where they just ran the clock out on Nevada's evidence of that. I
Yeah.
mean, all good decisions. Okay. Fresno State and Colorado State Friday. Then Saturday, 12:30 Pacific from Las Vegas, a CBS Sports Network game. Air Force at UNLV. That could be ugly. UNLV could score 60.
Yeah, this one
I'm
could
being
be
slightly
ugly.
hyperbolic.
This one could be ugly. I actually think UNLV has been the best team in the conference so far this year. I really don't even think that's been.
That's tough.
I don't like saying it, but I just
I know. I know. That's
just
true.
looking at week to week performance, they have been. And
Coach, they're
yeah,
5-0.
Air Force has struggled on defense. This could be a game where UNLV points up 50, 55 points. Only thing is, I could 100% see UNLV giving up 35 points. So I expect this to be a pretty high scoring game, but I do think UNLV will probably handle them pretty easily.
San Jose State at Wyoming, 4 o'clock Pacific in Laramie.
Now, this is a really interesting matchup.
Isn't it? We've got a couple.
This is a really interesting matchup here. These are two. I define them as scrappy teams. Wyoming's definitely a scrappy team. They're coming off of a pretty hard fought loss against UNLV, so they're going to be looking to bounce back from that. San Jose State kind of had a little bit of a get right game last week against the Lobos. They finally solved some of their running game issues, and they have just a really solid, sound quarterback. How do you pronounce the last name?
Walker Eget.
Eget, yeah. Eget is.
He only had like one incompletion through 3 quarters or something.
I mean, he's just kind of a machine back there, and he does not turn the ball over. Like you say, he didn't even throw in completions, let alone interceptions. So I think this could be a really fun, interesting game, but in the end, I think San Jose State's offense and passing game would probably be a little too much for Wyoming.
I agree with that. Okay, now San Jose State beat New Mexico, and to paraphrase the late great Dennis Green, maybe the Lobos are who we thought they were. They're at Boise State. This is also a very intriguing matchup. 6:45 Pacific.
This is a really good, intriguing matchup.
I mean,
I'm not ready to say New Mexico is who we thought they are because I actually think they're pretty good.
Okay.
I think last week, it's funny. We talked about maybe the New Mexico State game being a letdown after the UCLA win.
Right.
And
they beat them.
Looking back on it, I'm thinking maybe this game was a little let down because they just had the big win against UCLA, and then they followed it up with a big win against their rival. And
so the letdown was the loss to San Jose State.
I think the San Jose State game might have been the letdown. This team, I'm still pretty high on this team. They have 3 really solid wide receivers, really tough quarterback, stingy defense. The coach's son, that linebacker, is kind of flying all over the place. He might be an all-conference guy. And if there's going to be a year to get Boise State, this is going to be it. Now if we're talking about people being who we thought they were, and I've been saying this for a couple of years. Maddox Matson's a good player. He's a good game manager. He won't lose you the game. But if you're going to put, it all on him and ask him to go out there and win you the game, that's when you're going to start to get into trouble. And they've been asking him to go out and win the games this year, and it's just not the type of quarterback he is. They need to rely on their run. Last week against Notre Dame, they just didn't get a chance really to get into their run game, and Maddox Matson really struggled when it was on him. So both teams are coming off of losses, but I feel like Boise State might be the more deflated team coming off of a loss on a big stage like that to Notre Dame. That's one of those few games where, they really wanted to go out there and have a good showing. And I'm not predicting the upset, but this game is going to be closer. Say, this game's going to be closer than people think.
New Mexico winning at Boise State would actually be an astounding moment in the Mountain West.
I don't know if they're winning, but this is going to be a competitive game in the fourth quarter.
All right. Keep an eye on that one. It kicks off 45 minutes before San Diego State and Nevada at 7:30. And then the late game, Utah State on the island at Hawaii, 8:59 Pacific.
John.
Also an intriguing game.
This is my favorite game of the week. I cannot wait for this one.
That's actually three really interesting games.
There's some really good matchups this week. Yeah. And I've been pumped about both these teams all year. This. These are two of my sleeper picks in the conference. I love both of these quarterbacks.
Yes.
Barnes at Utah State is just got some cowboy in him. Micah Alahada is just like I don't even know how to describe him. He's just smooth. Both these teams have some really good athletes on defense. Hawaii's got some really good wide receivers. Utah State's got some really good running backs.
Miles Davis.
This one is going to be back and forth. This is going to be a shootout. This is going to be fun to watch. If you are up late night on a Saturday and you need a game, this is going to be one to tune into.
Well, the good news for you, Terrence Newman, is that we will be watching this after the Nevada game. We'll catch the second half.
Probably at the El Dorado Sportsbook. We got to get that sponsorship going.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, we were just there for the coaches show. They're already in the partnership. Okay. Wow, you've got me really excited for this week.
Dude, there's some really good games
for the
this week.
Wolfpack.
There's some really good games this week. The Mountain West this year is honestly going to be like a week-to-week conference. Any team can win. It's that tight. I really don't think there's much difference between third best in the conference and 10th.
Right.
At least as far as talent-wise, it's that tight.
Okay, that'll do it for Beyond the Booth. He is Terrence Newman. I am John Ramey. The two of us and Hall of Famer Mike Edwards will start our coverage this Saturday at 6:30 Pacific, 7:30 kickoff, San Diego State at Nevada, Parents Weekend. And we'll visit with you from Mackey. Tune in 105.7 FM or listen on the Varsity Network app. Peace.